Farewell, Kerbin. Off we go into the abyss. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. And as you all may very much remember, we finally sent Jeb up in a missile. In a rocket again, in the last episode, hopefully not a missile, that would be pretty bad, to go ahead and get himself back over to the moon. So, we have this mission still, where we will need to get him into rendezvous with a, with a probe that we already sent up there in a low lunar orbit, and we will need to have him go for a little spacewalk, and that will pretty much complete the mission. So that's kind of the task, that's kind of what we want to get going today. So let's hop right over to his current vessel, and there we go. Jeb is still, you know, just waking up, getting dressed and everything, and there he is, totally enjoying the view. I so envy him up there. Must be absolutely great, the feeling to be right up there. That said, we will need to actually get a maneuver node ready to go and burn ourselves over to the moon, which as always is probably going to be a bit of a task to get that done, because I have never quite got the feeling, or I've at least kind of lost the feeling of where to perfectly position these kind of maneuver nodes. I think it should be somewhat over here. That said, it does look like our apoapsis is just about fine. We will just need to find the point at which we will actually find the moon. And there we then go. Holy moly, what a mess. This seems to leave us with a lunar periapsis of 97.781k. So I'm thinking that should be pretty decent. We will need 700 meters a second. We've got 300 left in this stage, and then we should have about 2k left in that one. So that should be pretty good. Oh, wait. Wait, is that... No, wait. No, we can't do that. I thought I had... Oh, right. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to place... Let's just spool the time a bit, because I wanted to go for another orbit before I actually go and burn Jeb over. Because, yeah, obviously, I mean, right now this is... Well... Control locked. Oh, is this because of time warp now? Yeah, it is. Okay. So, that was obviously a bit too impromptu of a maneuver right there. So let's just go ahead and time warp a bit just to get away from that spot. And then we'll just make another maneuver out here and we will just kind of redo the whole thing. But it's obviously kind of, you know, planned, yeah, in 46 minutes. So that is what I kind of want to go for right there. And then, you know, ideally... With the lunar periapsis, that's not only going to be 1.7 million meters. Should get ourselves a bit closer to that, if possible. So if you can see right there, I think this is always what I need to pay attention to. This all looks very weird and confusing, but I'm pretty sure this periapsis is kind of what I'm aiming for. So this is going to leave us with 350k. That's already 360k. So this about should be the proper spot to be burning. Now we will just need to make a few adjustments as to like speed and everything to get ourselves in a bit closer. So this will leave us with 75k. So I think that is pretty decent overall. And will take us just about the same amount of meters a second. We'll just need to wait another full orbit for that. So for the time being, let's go ahead and time warp this a bit. I don't want to overdo it totally, but we will need to get ourselves closer to that maneuver node. That said, do we have any science experiments that we could do up here that maybe we haven't done up here yet? I don't think so. But let's just check it anyways, you know, you never know, and we've got this little science container up here, so we could maybe already go and test that out. Even though I'm not quite sure I actually can do this with Jeb, or if I need a scientist for it. So if I do need a scientist for it, and you guys have been screaming at me for all of the last episode that, you know, that science thingy doesn't work for me, because I can't even transfer it over, then But, you know, let's see. We can just keep this experiment, for example, right? The moon goo. Then we can EVA with Jeb, and let's try and get ourselves over there. Let go. Get the RCS on. How do I steer this thing again? Oh boy. This is kind of bad. Okay, STRG is down, shift is up, and then WASD. Okay. That's somewhat doable, is it? Let's try. Let's hope that's doable. So we will need to get ourselves close to this thing without bumping Jeb's head into it, preferably. We will need to collect the data. Oh, this will render this module... No! Okay, so let's not do that then yet. So we can transfer the data with Jet. We can just not reset the module because we need a scientist for that. So that's kind of unfortunate. I could have obviously gone for the two crew thingy right here. How do I tilt him again? I need to somewhat, you know, adjust his position. Doesn't seem to be able to hold on to that. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. But yeah, so I could have obviously gone for the... Did I just bump the rocket into turning here? Whoopsie. Oh, sorry for that one, little rocket. I apparently turned off your SAS. Let's turn that back on. But yeah, so I should have actually gone for the two crew thingy right here, so we can get a scientist back up with us as well. That will certainly be something to do on the next mission, though, I think. I do really like the overall rocket design. I think we can really just amplify that with a two-man crew pod, get a scientist back up with us, and then actually, you know, reuse the experiments for each separate stage of the mission where we didn't actually recover the data yet, and always get into that science container in that way, you know, scoop up a whole lot more science. So maybe that is something that we can then get going on our actual landing mission to the moon. I would think that that is something that will happen somewhat soon. I'm really hopeful right there. So let's just eye that for the future then. For the time being, gonna watch that electric charge drop while we go onto the dark side of Kerbin right here, or not. Oh yeah, right. It seems that SAS is intentionally being turned off on time warp just to avoid any unfortunate accidents. For the time being, going to keep it at 100, and we are going to slow that down as we get closer to the maneuver node. And I think when we're at like 4 minutes or something, I'm just going to take the time to actually, yeah, you know, get the vehicle turned in the proper direction and everything. So it does look like this is about our maneuver node up there. So let's go and turn ourselves towards that. Very interesting, by the way, how this thing still has fins. Not obviously going to help us much in vacuum, but, you know, it lasted us all the way up here. That wasn't even the plan, right? We wanted to just, you know, use this stage to transfer ourselves all the way over, but we do have some spare fuel, and I think that's honestly a pretty good sign, all things considered, like, just for, like, my plan of in the future upping the size of this thing to a two-man crew pod. Just like the fact that we have some spare meters a second in here, I don't think we would need to add on a whole lot of Delta V to actually get a two-man pod up there. I mean, I'm not sure about like size differences and weight differences and everything, but I can't imagine it would be too crazy. So, well, certainly something to find out very, very soon, I think. That said, I do want to kind of start ahead of the burn time a bit, because I think this stage will be a lot slower in burning, so we're not going to start at 22 seconds, we're more going to start at the 44, that's telling us right now, because we will need a second for separation and everything. So was it Y to get to full speed? I think so, right? Yup, most certainly. Alright, so let's start the first part of the burn right here, right now. Then we will separate, get the second part of the burn going, and then we'll probably need to adjust ever so slightly to make sure that we will properly rendezvous with the moon. So right now, just got the upper axis out a bit. We've got a burn time of 32 seconds. We will start at 16, and that is going to be the last part of the burn. Farewell, good old stage. You have done me well. I totally forgot to ignite the stage, so let's take care of that. And farewell, farewell, Kerbin. Off we go into the abyss. I love this. I just love this game. Guys, like, I don't know what you guys think of the game, right? But I absolutely love, like, space games and space flight and everything about it, which, you know, maybe kind of becomes apparent, like, given the name of my YouTube channel and everything, but I just really, really, really overall love the game. What do I say? I think it's great. I am really, really, really enjoying Kerbal Space Program. I mean, you gotta kind of think, right? Control locked again. Can I, if I get the SAS off, was it that, or was it? No, I think I needed to go in here, right? And then I can delete it. No, apparently not. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, like, I don't know. I've had the game for like a good 8 years now or something, and I absolutely love it to bits. Like, I just keep playing it. I just keep coming back to it, and I think it's absolutely great. Look at that glowing engine. Isn't that great? Cool. Well, with that said, we didn't quite hit the 97k, you know. Slightly off, as I said, due to the whole separation thing. But I think we're pretty decent, and we're pretty close to what we had targeted initially. I would still very much love to be able to get that thing out of the way. But oh, maybe in here? Yes! Okay, so, you know, found an alternative way of getting rid of that, so that's great. But yeah, maybe, Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say there. Well, anyways, I do love these indicators down here. I do think that I'm probably not using them enough, to be honest. I think there was some advanced stuff out here as well. So, very, very interesting stuff right there. But I'm really not using it a whole lot. So maybe that's something to look into a bit further in the future. That said, let's go and scoot ourselves over to the moon. And let's eye that contract out here. So, I mean, everything else should be somewhat kind of fine. Fingers crossed. I do want to finish this contract here. Explore the moon. Go on an orbital spacewalk near the moon. Rendezvous 2 vessels. So that's the plan right there. It's going to take us kind of a bit of a while to actually get over to the moon, though. As you can see, like, that trajectory is still very, very long. So, let's go. Let's actually watch it in here. Let's watch the moon coming ever closer, and Kerbin fade away into the distance. Let's speed up time up a bit more, because this is going to take an absolute age for us to get there. So, question being, will the moon actually I think it will overtake us, right? We should end up on the other side of the moon with the whole periapsis thing. Yeah, as you can see down here, like right here now, the moon is about to overtake us. We should, yep, swap into lunar orbit right there. And there we go. Okay, so there will be a bunch of adjusting to do, and that's kind of the part that I'm more worried about as well, to be honest, because as you can see, the pains of these two things are absolutely different. I'm not sure how much fuel we even had left in the start Mark 1 thing, so we will have to have a look into that. Also about, like, the whole altitude necessary and everything. Let's focus on the moon for a second here. I am actually going to swap over to this for a second, and just going to see what altitude we're going at with this. So we're at 41k. We do have 876 meters a second of fuel left, so I think we should probably adjust the orbital pains on this thing, because we're not really planning to retrieve it, right? So we may as well just, you know, adjust everything on here and leave every bit of fuel that we can on this thing to actually be able to retrieve Jebs safely. Fingers crossed. I really don't want a rescue mission right here. So, let's go back into this thing. Let's go and center on the moon again, and then we will be getting ourselves a maneuver right here. So we'll obviously need to go retrograde for a good bunch. Close that orbit in, and I mean, ideally I would already get it down to 41k. So, well, that looks pretty decent. 45, I think that's pretty close. 43, 42. 41. Okay, cool. So that's great. Then we'll obviously need to do the same when we're at the periapsis. For the time being, 262 meters a second, so we will still have about 1k left, and then with the second burn, it should be about like 900-ish meters a second. So let's see. I think it's going to be a close one, but let's see. That said, as I was talking about Delta V and stuff before, right, we will actually need more Delta V on this thing for a 2-man crew mission. If we actually want to land it on the moon, I think we will definitely need a bunch more Delta V on this. But for the time being, let's go and speed this up again. Let's get ourselves closer to the maneuver node, because it's still 1 hour and 40 seconds. Jeb is absolutely loving it. He wouldn't want to be in any other spot in the world right now. I absolutely always love his enthusiasm. But for the time being, let's go and get ourselves a bit closer. 50, 40, 30. Okay, gonna get it back down to 100 just to make sure not to do any stupid time warp mistakes right here. And I think just about 5 minutes again, we will take the chance to pre-align and get everything ready. So down to 50. And 6, 5. Alright. Well, can go a bit further, I think. Somewhat like that. Okay. So, here we are then. Hello, Moon. Long time no see. So, I'm going to get SAS on just to, you know, not wobble us about the place like crazy for the time being. We do obviously have the solar panels, so no power outages to worry about. We don't want to go perfectly on the retrograde marker just yet. We want to go onto our little maneuver node right there. And we've brought all these RCS, but I don't even need it that much. That said, maybe I can actually use it to generate some thrust should we end up running low on fuel, because we do have 90 monopropellant with us, so that should get us somewhere. You know, if we really need every last bit of it, that should get us somewhere. Let me just conductor material study out here real quick, see how much we have. Oh, we don't have that yet. Let's keep the experiment. I would actually like to keep that. That's great to know. I should have a science bay on the other thing, so maybe we can check back on that in a second as well. I think what we can actually do, right, we can conduct a science on the science experiment on the other thing, and then have Jeb go over, pick it up, and put it into here. That's actually kind of nice, right? So, really gonna love that. If that's going to work, because that means we can actually take advantage of the other thing, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Let's see about that. For the time being, that science experiment conducted. Do we have any more that we can conduct up here while we have the time? We've still got 3 minutes. We have done this one. We have done this one. And, well, we have kind of done that one. So let's reset that for the time being. Do we have a crew report done up here? Yep, we do. Do we have EVA up here? We've got 3 minutes, so, you know. Let's see. We have done that too. Okay, so, board. Let's get back in. Let's time warp ever so slightly. Maybe down to, like, a minute. I'm just going to stay out 5 times. I just had the stupid idea of going to 10 times, but you all know me. I would go straight past that burn marker, so, you know, let's not have that happen today, shall we? So, 1 minute round about here. That's good. Let's realign to where we need to be, actually get SAS back on. It's always, the thing that I really don't quite like about SAS these days is it seems a bit bouncy. It always kind of bounces back from where I want it to be, so it's always kind of a bit of a dance keeping it right on the marker, but there we go. That is it. And I have to say, I'm really finding myself using Y and X a lot more these days. I mean, X I've always been using. Y I kind of just accidentally fat-fingered at the first few episodes of me being back to YouTube, if you all remember, and usually only use shift, but these days it is very useful overall. That said, we're gonna have to start at 9.5 seconds, so let's just make it 10. Engine should be on, so there we go. And we're just gonna keep this going, you know, slightly trying to stay on top of that marker, and then once we get really close, I'm gonna cut off the engine and, you know, make the slight readjustments here. The marker is getting away though. The bounciness. Okay, cutting off the engine, and then, you know, getting that slight adjustment in right here. Cool. Okay, 0.4 meters a second. I think that's pretty decent. And we're in lunar orbit. Great stuff. So, that brings our periapsis down to... Whoa, that's pretty close to what I originally estimated. I'm really happy with that. Can still not get rid of the maneuver node. Oh no, now I can. I don't even get it. That said, we will need to bring the orbit down right here as well. From that 41k that we have right now to... no, from the 8... like... What are we at? 140k that we have right now to the 41k that we want to have. So, somewhere like that. 41, perfect. So, that's the target. Another 41 meters a second, so that's really not too bad. We're already going to get ourselves over to that maneuver node, which is right here. Just like that, perfect. And then we're going to go get, well, SAS we can keep on. It's going to turn off automatically anyways. And we're going to get ourselves close to that other node. Going to go at 100 speed for the time being. And then as always, like 5 minutes ahead of the burn is something we will go and set ourselves up, which fingers crossed we'll actually have enough electric charge for that, but it should all be somewhat doable. Now we do have a pilot in here, so you know, being on the dark side of the moon is really not going to be as scary for us as in the probe. We seem to be perfectly unmarked, so really no need to set ourselves up. But yeah, so we do obviously not need any connection to kind of get this thing going, because for if you guys remember, for the probe we actually had that issue with Jeb in here. We should be totally fine. So I'm gonna go and get ourselves right around to 1 minute, and then we're gonna go and get ourselves out of time warp, just get the last little bitsies set up, you know, kind of do that dance again with the whole marker, and that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And now well, just 5 times time warp, you know, down to like 30-ish seconds. Oh no, let's stop the time warp. Let's admire the sunrise over the moon with Kerbin in the background. What a beautiful scene. I absolutely love this game. You know, the graphics are obviously, you know, don't AAA graphics, but you don't need. I've said this so many times. Let's get the burn going for a quick second here before I forget. But you know, I've kind of said this so many times. You just don't need AAA graphics in a game if it's gonna have this beautiful artwork and just, I mean, generally the beautiful looks of space to it, right? I just love it. What do I say? I just absolutely love it. So I'm gonna observe the mystery goo down here. I'm gonna keep that experiment instead now, because 6.9 science is gonna be the best that we're gonna get out of that thing apparently. And then where do we have the rest of this stuff here? Okay, so let's log the temperature again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've done all these, haven't we? Pressure data. Yep. Okay. Crew report done, and EVA probably also done, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Cool. So we're gonna go board again. We had an option to remove helmet. Oh boy, Jeb, I wouldn't want to try that with you. I really wouldn't. Sorry, that's my phone ringing right there. I will go and call that person back in just a second, but not right in the middle of the recording right here. So, let me go and admire the sunrise a bit more. Honestly, I just can't stop looking at this. Seriously, just look at it. Let's just get, you know, kind of a bit higher up. And just look at that beautiful, beautiful view that we are having right here. The craters down below, the sunrise right above, and the silhouette of Kerbin right behind the sun. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. I hope you guys do as well. I'm pretty sure that's gonna end up on my Instagram, so you know, if you found me there, you know, go check it out. But well, so now what is the situation we do have? Really, again, could I please? Thanks. Get rid of that. So the panes are obviously very, very different, so that's gonna be a bit of adjustment work also. Wasn't this thing at 41k? Did I totally get off target now or something? 41, 43. Is this on an uneven orbit right now? I think it is on an uneven orbit, isn't it? That's a bit of an issue. I just took for granted that I had already adjusted that to perfection, but obviously I hadn't, so that's something we'll need to take care of. We're going to get a maneuver in about there then. Control locked. Oh yeah, I think maybe that was due to the communication issues. And in general, I think the communication issues with the probe are going to make adjusting the orbit a bit harder than it needs to be for us. But that will be what it is for the time being. Let's get rid of that flipping maneuver. I really don't know why that control locked thing keeps bothering me. But for now, let's go and no. I'm just like kind of trying to get the orbits to the same altitude here. Just like about this. Yep, perfect. And we're just going to quickly execute that burn too. So let us go and time warp again. Oh, and actually, let's check out the experiment bay. Oh, it is actually already used, and it's locked. Okay, well, looks like I got some use out of it, and kind of sad, but that is going to be what it is. So, we are going to get ourselves over to that maneuver node. We should be perfectly in comms range from Kerbin, so hopefully, yeah, got a good signal strength right there, so we should be kind of fine on that side of things. But for now, we are going to go and approach till we are at 5 minutes. I am going to realign. Whoa, this thing is really snappy, holy moly. Realign to the orbital marker right here. We're going to get ourselves closer again. 0.3 seconds of a burn time. I even need full power for that. Okay, that's fine. We are going to get ourselves somewhat close. I think like 30 seconds. I'm going to get rid of that time warp. And then we're just going to give it like a little boop. And we should be in about the same orbital pane as the other craft. I mean, really, like, this thing, I think we just really don't need to use a lot of Delta V on it, because it's just so light that, you know, well, actually, no, that doesn't make any sense. We just have a lot of Delta V because it is so light. Like, we need to use the same amount of Delta V, obviously, so don't mind me. I'm just going to go and give it a little boop, and now we should be in a decent enough orbit. Okay, still a bit behind the other craft, but first things first, we will probably need to adjust the orbital planes to kind of get ourselves into like the same kind of orbit, and then, you know, we'll need to shape the orbit a bit inwards to kind of go and catch up to the other craft, and then we will take care of the rest. But with that node now also finally flipping deleted, I think it is time to end this episode right here. So I do hope that you all very much enjoyed it. I certainly did. We finally have Jeb over at the moon, and we're finally going to get that rendezvous going in the next episode. So if you did like the episode, definitely make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always very much help out the channel, and if you're new around here, did enjoy this episode and would like to stay around for more of my KSP content or also other stuff, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon right next to stay up to date on all my future upcoming episodes. That said, as always, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I hope you'll have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.